We're not talking about this anymore. No, you don't have inertial momentum. That momentum that you have is pointed sideways. The momentum doesn't change when you're in the fucking air. This is the problem that you're all failing right now. I can't believe I'm being trolled like this. This scene in Dunkirk is really good until the guys get shot. Oh, I thought the opening scene of this movie was okay. My biggest problem with Dunkirk was Nolan either needed a bigger budget or he needed to suck it up and use some fucking CGI. The beaches of Dunkirk in this movie were actually so unimaginably fucking horrible. I can't imagine why he thought that it could stand.
Snapping our way into 2020.
It blows my fucking mind. Show the beaches? Like, it looks like there's like 100 people on the beach at any point in time. Or maybe more than a couple hundred. How many people were here? Was it over 10,000? Or how many people needed to be saved from Dunkirk? Wasn't it like 13,000 or some shit? Or am I off on that? Like, it looks like there's a few hundred people on the beach at any point in time. Wait, I'm sorry, 300,000. Oh, holy shit, my bad. Okay, way more. Holy fuck, all the numbers in the World Wars are so hard to fucking... hundreds of thousands of people. At any point in time, it looks like there's a few hundred people on the beach, max. And all of these beaches are so clean. Also, does this work? Can you shoot, like, small arms at, like, a plane and have it do anything? No, yes. We're getting lots of yeses in chat. Okay, maybe you can. Are people not worried about, like, the bullets coming back down and killing them? I'm pretty sure that's possible. If you take, like, a fully automatic weapon and you start shooting straight into the air, the bullets coming down will kill you, won't they? Isn't the terminal velocity of a bullet really fucking high? I could be wrong. There's got to be a Mythbusters on that. If you fire,
I love you, Dusty.
If you fire bullets like up into the air and the bullet comes back down, it will.
Fine.
You're fine. It won't kill anybody.
I mean, it could maybe kill a baby if it lands on a fucking soft spot in its head, but no one else. Yeah.
I feel like I read stories of people that like shot like some Arab country where they shoot guns in the air and like people could get killed by the bullets.
Well,
coming back
okay,
down.
sure. If you're shooting it at an angle, if you shoot it straight.
No, I'm not talking about like you shoot an angle and it hits somebody in the side. I mean, like if you shoot it like relatively straight into the air when it comes back down.
And when it's falling down, how fast do you think of? Oh, these guys are so fucking.
Well, let's find out. Terminal velocity, 556 round.
I can't wait for everyone in fucking chat to be wrong. You know what? When all of you guys... Hold on.
The falling bullet. Myths, legends, and terminal velocity.
Someone make a list of everyone who said that I was wrong.
No.
Everyone on the beach was wearing a helmet. My understanding is that helmets don't take direct shots, but that helmets can deflect. Like if it catches you like at an angle, kind of. That's what a helmet can do. But I know I'm almost positive that a direct 7.62 to a helmet will penetrate the helmet. I'm almost positive of that. And that I think I don't know what all the exotic ammo was used by foreign rifles like Germans and shit. But I thought that most shots from a rifle going directly into the head, a helmet won't stop that. It only hits like glancing shots and whatnot. A falling bullet is way slower than a bullet out of a gun. So the only way that a falling bullet can be slower than a bullet out of the gun is if, well, you lose speed in two ways. One is if there's a terminal velocity of the bullet, and then two is the friction of the air after you fire the bullet, which are kind of related to each other, right? Well, not necessarily, but they're kind of tied. They both have to do with friction, right? Wait, I'm just curious about this. Can you actually die? Terminal velocity must be a lot slower than the gunshot. Yeah, that's my question. I just don't know if that's true or not. It must be, right? Maybe it would be, but okay. There are several reported cases of people being killed from bullets that were fired in the air. So this is not interesting because, like, if you fire a bullet into the air like this, like let's say you have a gun and you fire the bullet like this, we would all expect that like that can probably kill somebody. Oh no, that looks like sorry. We would all expect that this bullet will probably kill somebody. What we're really asking, though, is whether or not a bullet fired like in this type of trajectory will gravity pull the bullet to the earth fast enough for it to be lethal. That's what we want to know. Lethal? Question mark. That's the question. Wait, it's literally the same thing, Physics 1 problem, LeMayo? Oh, well, you're right, and that it is the same thing in a Physics 1 problem, because in a Physics 1 world, you're working in a frictionless vacuum. meaning that whatever force it takes to get something to go into the air, when it comes back down, it will be traveling at the opposite velocity, exactly 1-to-1. But in the real world, we don't live in frictionless vacuums. We have friction, right? So the question is, yeah, sorry. Okay. Watch the video. Okay. Fuck. This should be a simple question to answer. I know this has been talked about before. Mythbusters. Thank you. Good luck.
Slam the fart.
This is not what you're looking
What you
for.
got there?
Well, we're going to find out.
Picture
Alright.
2 bullets, each exactly the same distance from the ground, each released at the exact same second, except one bullet is dropped to the ground, the other is fired from a gun. The classic physics thought experiment states that both bullets will hit the ground at the same time.
Based on what theory?
Based on the theory that the bullet that's fired from the gun has no wings on it, no lift. Thus, gravity has the same effect on it as it does on the drop bullet, and thus, they hit the ground simultaneously.
Adam lays.
This is basic physics. Unless there's some weird shit going on with the bullet, of course. But this isn't what we're asking. Destiny, they found that while bullets traveling on a perfectly vertical trajectory tumble on the way down, creating turbulence that reduces terminal velocity below that which would kill. It was very difficult to fire a bullet in a near ideal vertical trajectory. In practice, bullets were likely to remain spin stabilized on a ballistic trajectory and fall at a potentially lethal terminal velocity. They also verified case of actual less problem. Okay, interesting. Close enough. Gotcha. This picture shows lethal potential. That's a good ass man. Oh, anyway, yeah, on Dunkirk, the beaches are way too clean, and there's only ever like a few hundred people, so it's really, really jarring. These beaches are spotless on Dunkirk. Holy shit. People always posted like a different movie that showed like how fucked, that did a better job at like showing how fucked the beaches actually were. I don't remember the fucking movie though. I don't care about fucking World War I shit. Atonement? Oh yeah, it feels like it gives you like a better perspective of maybe like that there are like thousands or, well, there should be hundreds of thousands of people on these beaches. Whereas like Nolan's movie feels very sterilized. I think Nolan didn't want to use CGI at all. Yeah, because he's like one of those people that's like all CGI is like bad. Wait, why are they shooting horses? Wait, do you think they're really killing
Destiny failed
horses?
medical physics undergrad here. Terminal velocity doesn't matter at all here, it's too slow to kill someone. All that matters is whether or not the bullet still has enough velocity in the x-axis to kill someone.
What? Okay, well, this is why you're a failed undergrad, I guess? I mean, I technically failed as well, but like, terminal velocity matters because if a bullet is fired at this point, we know that it has enough velocity to kill someone. We know that, right? Bullets can kill when fired from a gun. So the question, if it goes straight up in the air and comes straight back down, we would expect the bullet to be traveling at an identical speed here as it was when it left the gun. Unless the air resistance against the bullet matches or becomes equal to the acceleration due to gravity or whatever. If that equalizes out at a much earlier velocity, right, or at a much lower velocity, then the bullet wouldn't be lethal on its way back down, right? So for instance, let's say that what is it, like 700 meters? How, okay, Glock 17 bullet velocity. Or speed or whatever. Okay, 375 meters per second, right? So let's say that this bullet, okay, travels at 375 meters per second, right? When it comes out of this. But let's say that our terminal velocity is only 50 meters per second, right? Well, we can exceed terminal velocity here because we're literally using a propellant to get the bullet to overcome that. But like once it's in the air and there's nothing else pushing it as it falls, if it's only going 50 meters per second, when it hits the ground, we would assume that's not fast enough to kill someone, so it's whatever, right? There, okay. Please label your forces. Oh wait, I don't think I can draw dicks. Would a tumbling bullet change any of this? So my guess would be is that a bullet tumbling would probably increase a bullet tumbling would increase the resistance or friction, and it would decrease the terminal velocity. That would be my guess, is that a bullet tumbling in the back would cause more friction. So like if we were playing Kerbal Space Program and we had a rocket pointed at the ground, if the terminal velocity was 500 meters per second, if we started to wiggle the back, we would slow down. It would increase the drag, right? This video is what you're looking for.
That's not what you're looking for. This is propaganda from fucking people who think that it will. I give you actual, here, scientific shit.
Oh, so this is what we're curious about. Does it really exceed 400 miles per hour as it falls through? Is that really true? How fast, if you shoot, let's say you shoot something in the air and it's up in the air for 1 minute, how much does the Earth move underneath them? Assuming it goes straight up and comes straight back down and there's no wind, how far away would it be after 1 minute of the Earth's rotation?
Doesn't the atmosphere move with the Earth?
That's why I'm saying without the fucking wind. Yeah, the Coriolis Effect. What is the... It's got to be a few feet? Yeah, I don't know. The bullet will travel with the planet? No, that is not true. The bullet will carry the initial velocity from the Earth moving, so that is inconsequential. No, wait, what? I don't want to do a physics stream. We're not doing this right now. But that is not true. When you are on the Earth, you cannot have a velocity that is like this. It doesn't work that way. It always points in a straight line. If you're on the Earth and you jump straight up into the air, your velocity is pointed this way. It's tangential to the Earth. So if you jump straight into the air and you come back down, the Earth will move underneath you a little bit. If you could go straight up into the air and then come straight back down without the wind dragging you, because it does that, you come straight back down, you will be in a different spot. You quote unquote retain some of the velocity of the Earth, but that's just moving you sideways. You're not going to be keeping up with the planet that's rotating beneath you. That's not true.
I think
He has
you're
to be
wrong.
trolling. I know for a fact that I'm right. Wait, am I being gaslit right now?
No, I genuinely think you're wrong. nothing to do
wait,
with
my
wind.
no, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Wait. This is we know I'm okay. All right, that's great. We can all learn a little bit of physics today. I love learning physics.
Wait, hold on. We got drama though. That's
What drama?
God, you're
I
right.
don't
Never
care.
mind. You're right.
Okay. If you jump straight into the air, okay? Ignore the air. Stop talking about the air pushing, okay? Basic. We're just doing like air is fluid. Stop talking about the air. Stop talking about the air. I'm IP banning for people talking about the air. We're not talking about the air. With the way that the atmosphere works and everything, chances are, well, one, we can't jump into the air to even test this, and two, you will be dragged a little bit further along with the air because it's kind of being pulled by the planet, okay? If you jump straight into the air, your velocity, okay, is going to be pointed in this direction, okay? When you jump straight into the air at this point, okay? Now, you'll travel a little bit, okay, as you jump, but when you come back down, okay, you will not land at the exact same spot because the Earth is not moving along this trajectory, okay? It's going along this way. You're going to be farther behind the spot you were in when you jump and you land. That spot that you jumped at by the Earth moving will be ahead of you. You'll be back here, and that spot will be up here. I know I'm correct on this. I'm 100% correct. You have initial momentum from when you jump. We're not talking about this anymore. No, you don't have initial momentum. That momentum that you have is pointed sideways. The momentum doesn't change when you're in the fucking air. This is the problem that you're all failing right now. I can't believe I'm being trolled like this. This is the problem that all of you are failing, okay? If you have a marble in a machine, okay? If a marble is following this path and the marble is going down, 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 and then the marble comes out here, the marble's path isn't going to go this way because of the momentum. The marble will come straight out tangentially, okay? Because you don't have that the fictitious force. I think it's centrifugal force or whatever that gives you the feeling of being pulled along. That's why when you're in a car, never mind. I can't tell if I'm being trolled right now or if it's just actual like. That's not what we're fucking saying, Destiny. Momentum doesn't move you. Wait. Okay, hold on. That's so. Wait. Hold on. I can't tell if I'm being triggered. Dan, do you understand what I'm saying?
No. I don't.
Okay, here's another example. If you were standing inside of a rotating thing, okay? Hi, I'm here. And this thing is spinning in this direction, spinning clockwise, okay?
Yes, I understand when it stops spinning. You're not going to keep going in a circle. You're going to
If
go
you
up straight
jump
and
up here, what will happen is you will be thrown into the wall, okay?
Sure.
It will, the spot that you
gaslit
jumped off
free.
at, if we mark this right here, if we were to mark this spot with a red marker, okay? And we were to jump, okay? The red marker would be in front of you. You would just fly into this wall. This is not the same thing. No, it's not exactly the same thing, but it would be in the reverse. If you were standing on the outside and you jumped.
I just sent you an article from Cornell. Okay, obviously it's has the situation. This one has air, but
Why does this happen when you jump in a moving bus? Because in a moving bus, it's not fucking rotating. There's no angular part to that. It's just going in a straight fucking line. Rotations make it a little bit more complicated. Didn't we all watch me play? I played so much Kerbal Space Program. How do you guys not know this? You suffered through so many KSP streams. We did way too much Kerbal Space Program streams for you guys to not understand this. If I fly in a straight line up on the Earth and I land, I'm going to be landing on a spot that's behind my original launch position.
All right, real quick question. If I was on the tallest building on Earth times 100 and I dropped the ball off at the very top, would it land right at the ground at the building, or would it be farther away?
Well, for the tallest building on the planet, it's
times 100.
Times 100. The ball would not land. Correct. The ball would not land where at the base of the building.
This article that I just linked to you says that's doesn't agree with it.
Doesn't agree. What I just said is correct. 100%.
Well, then
I don't care what the article says. Then they need to redo their physics program, or you're misunderstanding the artitle. Okay, and I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it to you very simply. Okay, are you ready, Dan?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. I need to channel my inner physics. Okay. I don't even like physics. Okay. Okay. Let's work with the house thing. Okay. Or the building. Let's say that we have a building that's 20 million miles tall. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Your question is oh my god, I'm oh my god, I'm getting so triggered. Hold on, I need to.
It's gonna be so great when you end up being wrong.
I'm not wrong on this though. I thought this is pretty basic. I'm pretty sure we're at.
Technically, of course, I thought
No.
everyone in here was
Okay,
taking
the
effective
okay here.
Coriolis.
Okay, no. The only way that I'm wrong, and I'll admit right now, I'm like, if we take into account like air, like wind
You got
resistance
this,
and everything,
Steve.
like that's all probably moving along with the planet, such that it is like moving shit as well with it. Although not entirely, because the rotation of our Earth explains a lot of our fucking weather patterns, because it's not pulled along perfectly. But yeah, like chances are, like the weather and shit will like affect this, and the wind will blow shit around for sure. But assuming that there's no wind, okay, if we stand on this building, okay, on top of a rotating planet, and we drop a ball right
Okay,
here.
so to be clear, we are now changing a little bit.
No, you dumb
Wait,
fuck!
hey,
I never
hey,
said that we were
chill
taking
for
into account
goddamn
wind.
second.
I never said we were
talking
taking into
about
account
shit in
wind.
the fucking air. Not wind, air. We have no environment whatsoever now. There's nothing. There's no nitrogen. There's nothing out there. I'm not saying wind, motherfucker. I'm saying that
I'm just talking
exists
about
in space.
angular
That's what we have
momentum
now.
and velocity in different directions. That's all I'm talking about right now, okay? I'm not talking about like the air currents like moving the bullet around, okay?
So nothing based in reality. Got it.
Sure. Well, no, this has a real
Your
effect because
angular
people that
velocity
fire
about the Earth's
I'm
axis of
skipping
rotation.
I'm skipping all of this, okay? Anything you donate to me about this, I'm skipping. So you're throwing money into the wind right now, or into the frictionless vacuum, whatever you want to call it, okay? Okay. I'm trying to think of like how the best way to explain this. But if you were standing on top of this building, okay?
I understand exactly what you're trying to say. I just don't think it's true. I get it. The idea that the Earth is
Hanshan, I'm only banning you because you're fucking a moron. Clearly, if you jump, the Earth isn't gonna fucking tear out from underneath you. Of course, the Earth doesn't spin that fast, and we're not that tall. You're getting banned for being mind-numbingly fucking stupid. I'll see you in a month, okay? If you stand here and you drop this ball straight down, okay. I'm trying to think of like how to word this. Because you have to keep in mind your frame of reference as well. The impression that you would get if you were somebody standing on the ground, it starts falling slowly and then falls faster. It's not going to be a perfect curve, but the ball is going to fall something like this. Is it something like that, maybe? Is what it would look like? Like, that's how it's going to appear. I think in this type of curve or something. The ball is not going to fall right next to the building. And the reason why is that if this is circular,
so we're in a vacuum with no atmosphere.
Yes, we're not assuming the fucking wind is driving, because that's not the goddamn question you're asking, okay? We're just asking simply what's happening on a rotating body. If you're very far, if you're outwards, if you're very far from the rotating body and you throw something down into it, what's going to happen when you drop that ball? The impression from somebody on the ground is that the ball is mysteriously going to be left behind. That as it falls, we're actually rotating away from it, and the rotation of the Earth is no longer affecting the ball once it's been released. We are rotating away from it, and it's going to look like the ball is moving behind us somehow. Like, it's not going to fall straight down with us, because as the ball falls, the velocity of this building is constantly changing. At this point, it's here. But once the Earth rotates here, it's going to be pointing this way. Once it's here, it's going to be pointing this way, okay? The velocity of the building is constantly going to be changing. However, the velocity of the ball will remain constant. Now, initially, the velocity is going to keep right along with us, and that it's going to point in a straight line like us. Oh, cool, we're traveling the same way. The momentum that you keep talking about will carry it. However, as we rotate underneath it, and our velocity points in a new direction, the velocity of the ball is going to point up. It's going to point in a stranger direction, which is going to cause it to fall behind us. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, but I don't understand. I would assume that gravity would have more of a... How do I put this? It's very difficult to say.
All gravity can do is pull you down and into it. It cannot change your left or right or whatever. All gravity does is it accelerates you towards the bottom of the gravity well. That's it. Don't tell me I'm right. I know that I'm right. I'm asking if people understand. Basically, you're saying a connection to the ground is the source of the acceleration. Correct. Yes, that's right. The top of this building. So here's a fun fact. Any skyscraper, if we were in the very center of the Earth and we could measure the speeds of things, the very top of a skyscraper is moving faster than the very bottom of a skyscraper, right? No, it will go ahead because it is faster when it goes down, Destiny. No, it won't go ahead. It might be moving faster, but we're talking about velocity. Velocity is a speed and a direction, right? Velocity requires speed and direction. And the direction of that ball, if the ball is dropped from way up there, by the time we've rotated our building, we're going to be standing on top of our building. Or no, I'm sorry. We'll be standing at the bottom of the building. And even though we're going... Okay, hold on. So what is the velocity of the ball going to look like by the time it hits the ground? So let's draw that, okay? So we're on a planet. We're over here, okay? And now we're watching. We're watching the ball as it comes to the ground. The velocity of the ball is actually... It's going to... Well, no, hold on. Oh, fuck. Because how you describe the velocity changes based on your frame of reference. But, like, it's not... The momentum that it had would not have been pointing in this direction. It's going to be pointing more up here, right? Like it's going to be kind of like wasted. I don't like to use that word, but it's going to be pointing like diagonally up a little bit, which is why it's going to fall behind us, because we haven't lost any of our horizontal momentum, because our velocity is constantly changing as the planet changes us, right? It's an angular thing. We're stuck on a thing that's spinning. Our velocity is changing constantly. Once this was dropped, its velocity won't be changing, and the ball that's dropped is like there. That's I can't. I suck at explaining this.
I got it. It clicked.
Did it click?
Yep, for sure. I got it.
Are you sure? Or are you just saying that?
No, I got it. I totally understand it. I was getting confused because of the, having the atmosphere and things like that. But without an atmosphere, of course, it makes sense. Things. It's like a record. The edge of a record is going faster than the center of the record, basically.
Kind of, yeah. So all I'm saying is that if we drop something here, so at this point, our velocities are pointed this way, okay? Because we're being dragged along. It's tangential to the body that we're on. When we reach this point, the new velocity is going to be pointed this way, but that ball that's dropped, its velocity is still going to be pointed that way. And because of that, because it doesn't have as much horizontal velocity, we're going to appear to be accelerating away from the object as it falls, right? Because the ball is going to maintain that same velocity when it was dropped because the Earth's not acting on it anymore. And then when we get to like this point here, our velocity's over here, but the ball that's dropping's velocity is still going to be here, so that's why it's going to appear to fall behind us. Gravity has acted on it for a while and changed the direction of the ball. No! Wrong! You're wrong! That's not true. Fuck off. Okay. All right. Actually, yeah. Throw me up the spinning water video. That's a real good way to mindfuck all of you. Okay, hold on, wait. I'm super curious. I'm super curious. Is Destiny correct? How many of you people think I'm right now? Wait. The ball will fall behind the skyscraper and not land alongside it in a vacuum. We're talking about in a vacuum. Yes, Destiny is right. No, Destiny is wrong. Meme answer. I don't know anything. Type A laugh. Holy shit. Okay. This will teach us, if you can fully understand this video, you will understand every concept needed to understand this. Now we're going to do this. I'm going to use the restroom real quick. This is going to be a mind fucker for you motherfuckers. I'll be right back.
This fucking dumb boomer didn't press play on the video. Are you fucking serious? This is what happens when your brain is on Coom. You forget to press play. Oh my god. Hey, chat. What is the current drama shit that we have going on? I need a list of all the drama so that we can try and get this happen. I obviously know about the Melina, Arianina stuff. Is there anything else? We got the REM stuff happening right now. What else? I know of some secret memes that you guys don't know about. Well, some people know about it, but it's not as big of a deal, I guess. Well, it's not secret. It's not secret. It's not secret. Chill. I'm gonna tell you. Oh, now it's overhyped. Now I can't tell you. I'm sorry. This is way too overhyped. This was it's like a 3 out of 10, maybe. The drama. It's not a secret. If you go on Discord a lot, you'll know about it already. Just say it. Zintani got banned from Destiny's Discord for being fucking crazy. Was I Mr. Mitten's New Year kiss? No. His old lady got that one. We had a good dude. I drank so much. Oh my god. And the Uber ride took forever. Just a absolute fucking shit show. I will say, however, that man, I feel we broke the model. It was pretty expensive, the thing that we went to, but it was all you could drink, champagne and cocktails and food. Pretty ritzy place, and Yeah, punished them. No one say anything. Act like it already played.
Okay, hold on. I'm dragging this guy in. God damn it. I'm about to get super fucking triggered. What do you want?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Okay, tell me what your opinion is.
Okay, so are we going back to the bullet?
Yeah, no. So the ball dropping off the building. Do you agree that the ball will be behind the building in a vacuum?
Probably not due to momentum.
What momentum?
So it's like the same reason why, you know how spacecraft slingshot around planets to gain speed? You'd think that in a vacuum,
In a vacuum?
it would just be as you said, right? You come in at a certain velocity, you speed up, and then whatever the mass of the planet takes it away from you.
How does that factor into this?
So because the planet's traveling through space.
We're not talking about a planet traveling through space here with the building example, though. We're just talking about being on top of a rotating body.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying attention to the bidding example. I'm just really triggered about the bullet.
Okay, so what is your issue with what I've said about the bullet?
Okay, so it doesn't. Can you just screen share paint? Is that a build?
Wait. Just talk. What did I say about the bullet you disagree with?
Okay, so it doesn't matter. It's the terminal velocity of a bullet is maybe 60 to 80 miles per hour. That's not fast enough to kill someone.
Okay.
Right? So
Wait, citation needed on that because everything I've seen has been between 3.
Well,
and
wait.
400
So let's say
miles
that's yeah. So if the terminal velocity is 60 to 80 miles an hour, then that means
talking about
firing.
Dan?
Wait, so firing a bullet straight up like wouldn't kill somebody then, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't kill anyone. It would just accelerate until it hits terminal velocity, which is fast enough to kill someone. What matters is whether the bullet still has enough velocity of X direction to kill someone. Like you could fire it at 45-degree angle, and the only force acting on it to slow it down in the X direction is air resistance.
Okay. How does it disagree with anything I said?
You told me that I was wrong, and then you called me an idiot, and you said that's why I failed out.
Well, what did you initially say? What's your name in chat?
Jatura.
You're Jatura. Okay.
It was a dono.
What did I even say that you disagreed with?
Hello?
I mean, like, if a bullet's going fast enough in a horizontal direction, of course it'll kill someone. That wasn't the question, though.
Yeah, there was a question whether you can shoot a bullet up in the air and it would kill someone.
Yeah, of course. That was the question. And then my response was that, well, it would depend on what the terminal velocity of the bullet is, which we seem to agree on, right?
I don't know. I think someone should clip it because your response wasn't what you were
Terminal
saying.
velocity of a
Alright, I
bullet
love you,
is
buddy.
200 miles per hour. This guy is an idiot.
Okay. Somebody's linking dumb imagers in chat. If the ball is dropped, then it has V2. As it drops and falls towards the bottom of the tower, it continues to have V2. This will cause the ball to move away from the tower as it's moving faster than the tower. No! Okay. A lot of people in common parlance use the terms speed and velocity interchangeably. We say, oh, damn, you're going fast? What velocity were you traveling at? People say velocity and speed interchangeably, okay? In physics, velocity means a speed and a direction. For instance, I can have a negative velocity. That doesn't mean I'm moving through time or whatever. Like, it means that there's a stated direction. You're moving contrary to that direction, right? You can have a negative velocity, okay? So Velocity means speed and a direction. What you've given here is not a velocity. I don't know what the fuck you would call this, okay? This is changing. You have a different velocity. You might have the same speed, okay? So like, for instance, let's say that I managed to shoot something through an air and it follows this arc, okay? Let's say that it moves at 60 miles per hour throughout this entire arc, okay? Every single point I measure is 60 miles an hour. Now, that might have the exact same speed, but it has a constantly changing velocity because it's pointing in a different direction every time, okay? Does that make sense? What happens when you drop a penny off the Empire State Building? Oh God, this is either going to support me because it's using good physics, or it's not going to support me because they're just, like, in reality, if you drop something off the Empire State Building, the radius of the Earth is so fucking massive. Destiny, sorry, you're describing acceleration, not velocity. No! Acceleration is a change between two things, okay?
Notepad Steve UWU.
It's a theory that's been passed through the generations since the Empire State.
So in reality, dropping something off a tall building in real life is going to be, dropping something off a building in real life is going to not cause it to move, or if it does, it's going to be very, very small because the Earth is so fucking huge and buildings are pretty small compared to the overall size.
First became the world's tallest building back on March 31st, 1931. It's said that if you make it all the way up the building's 1,860 steps and stand a whopping 102 stories above the New York sidewalk, all you'd have to do to kill the pedestrians on the street below is drop a penny. The idea is that even a tiny object, like a coin, can gather in...
Yeah, and as the velocity is constantly changing, we would say it's accelerating. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Wait, did I scream at you? Okay, wait. In order for your velocity to change in any way, it must be accelerating or decelerating.
The
You're right.
IMG was right.
No! This is... Is this guy trying to say... hold on, I can't. Wait. Okay, wait. We should just watch... Okay, wait. This video is the key to everything, okay? That image is a cursed image, okay? This video is the key to everything. But we'll watch this one because I don't know what this is, okay?
Enough speed when dropped from a sufficiently great height, then it effectively turns into a bullet, splitting open the head of anyone unfortunate enough to be standing underneath. But exactly how true is this? Could the insignificant act of letting a single coin fall from a great height carry a murder charge?
This isn't gonna...
This is the blunt way on this, and the fraction in moving around the Earth's surface has to move through it, and as a result, will encounter air resistance. As the force of gravity pulls any faster and faster towards the ground, the amount of air resistance increases. Eventually, the accelerating force will balance out the air resistance, meaning that anybody else going faster will have reached its maximum speed, also known as its terminal velocity. A penny reaches its terminal velocity after falling a mere 15 meters, which is only slightly taller than the letters in the hollow sign. This means that a penny falling from 8, 16, 15 meters...
Okay, this isn't gonna ask anything about rotation shit. This is just about terminal velocity, I think.
...the ground at the same speed. The more you realize the Empire State Building is in fact taller than 15 meters, standing proudly as an impressive 443 meters, or 1,400 feet. Considering the fact that the fifth floor of the Empire State Building stands around 22 meters, dropping the penny from the observation deck near the 86 or 174 is simply a waste of time and money. Since the 80 observation deck will set you back $34. A standard American one-cent coin weighs in at 2.5 grams. A penny of this weight when dropping a distance over 15 meters will reach the speed around 40 kilometers per hour, or 25 miles per hour. This isn't even close to velocity, causing it to move and spin erratically, which significantly slows its descent. As the building itself, looks like some allow the penny to reach speeds around 320 kilometers an hour, or 200 miles per hour. This might be possible to cause injuries to some person's head, but fortunately, it still probably won't kill them. Of course, you could simply opt for something more aerodynamic of the building. After zipping the javelin, up under the first image, or head, there's actually a secret run from the third floor above the official top and continuing to support our channel.
Okay, so this is incorrect, but it works. It's close enough for the sake of the video. If you put this in a vacuum and drop it straight down, it won't go straight down. Now, the Earth is big, so the change will be imperceptible, but it can't go straight down. Dan, I can't do this. Okay, we're going to watch this video, and now we'll understand, okay? Are you guys ready? We're about to... Man, okay, here we go, boys. Put on your... Is there a symbol Vsauce? This is complicated, but here we go, okay? Open your minds. We're going to have so much fun, okay?
Destin, welcome back to Smarter Day. This is Steve Mold. You've seen him. You've seen his face. We did the chain. What's the deal?
Well, it's called the Mold Effect. Is it really?
Coriolis Effect, you are correct.
I named it.
I always wanted something named after it. It'd be something stupid if it was like the same one. Anyway, long story short, we were in an argument.
Wait, hold on. I need to think 1 second about something. 1 second. Okay, wait. Here is a thing, though. Okay. I think the video will deal with this. If you stand on top of this, and you were to fire a bullet straight down in a gun, if you were to actually fire the bullet and not just drop it, I think the bullet would land ahead of the building. it would appear to take this path if you fired it straight down. That's correct, right? Where are my big physics memers at? I'm pretty sure that's correct. If you were to fire the bullet straight down, it would actually land ahead of the building. Because you have a velocity pointed this way. However, by the time the building reaches here, the velocity is going to be pointed slightly down. But if you fire it straight down, then you won't be drifting away from the target. You'll be heading even in, so you'll be giving it like a push. I think it would actually land ahead of the building if you fired it straight down. I'm pretty sure. Firing and dropping is the same. It's not, though, because when you drop it, you have the same velocity at the point in time you drop it as this. But if you fire it, you're okay. You're not just inheriting. You're inheriting the velocity, but then you're giving it your own. So it's a totally new velocity. Okay, get ready. We're watching this. Here we go, boys. Good luck. This is everything having to do with angular shit is incredibly unintuitive. But you know what? We're all gonna learn. Okay. Good luck.
Hey, it's me, Destin. Welcome back to Smart Every Day. This is Steve Mold. You've seen him. You've seen his face when he did the chain. What's the deal?
Well, it's called the Mold Effect. Is it honestly? Because, yeah, some scientists named it.
I've always wanted something named after me. It'd be something stupid if it was like the same one. Anyway, long story short, we were in an argument, and we were going to settle it with internet physics videos, which is the appropriate way to settle an argument.
If you've never seen a nerd fight, they look just like this. Steve has proposed the building of a spinny water apparatus, and he's telling me he thinks the water's going to sling out of it in a certain direction. Now, Steve seems like a pretty smart guy if he can look past the British accent and all that, but I just don't agree with him. Somewhere along the argument, we decide that it's going to take a phantom camera to figure out exactly what's going to happen with this device. But
Okay, wait. Before we do this, hold on. Before we do this, there might be a simple Vsauce explanation. Let's find out real quick. Okay, here. This might be literally what we're talking about. Okay. Oh my god. Thank you, Vsauce. All right. Here we go. This might be a very simple way so we can at least have a baseline understanding of this.
Itself amongst faster and faster moving
Here we go.
that it falls behind. There's a vertical version of the Coriolis effect as well. An object suspended very high, right up above you, will actually fall a bit to the east if dropped, and anything you throw straight up at it will curve away to the west a bit. The higher up object, whose circular path around is bigger, covers more distance in the same time than you. These velocities don't just disappear when things are dropped or thrown up, so you both miss your marks. It's also why
Oh, that's a way easier way to explain it. But yes. Okay. Do we all understand? Can we all see it? Watch it very slowly. So Destiny's wrong. No, he's just rotating his planet the opposite way that I was rotating mine. No, no, no! Oh my god, hold on.
You will actually fall a bit to the east if dropped, and anything you throw straight up at it will curve away to the west a bit. The higher up object, whose circular path around is bigger, covers more distance in the same time than you. These velocities don't just disappear when things are dropped or thrown up, so you both
Do you see what's happening? Look, he drew his planet, he just did the rotation the opposite way. But when the piano drops to the person,
disappear when things
watch,
are dropped or thrown
it
up.
falls behind.
So
See?
you
It
both
falls behind the person. You said it will land behind. Yes! Watch the video! We're done. I'm never talking about physics again on this stream. Oh my god, you guys fucking make me want to fucking end it all. It does. The piano falls behind the person. Watch it.
Than you. These velocities don't just disappear when things are dropped or thrown up, so you both miss your marks. It's also why the directly outward pointing force you feel when spinning is fictitious. Your inertial tendency to move in a straight line takes you further from the path you're on to where things have to have higher velocities.
Look at it happening. We can watch it. Oh my god, he's even got a video. We can watch it happening in real time. Look what's happening. Watch it. Watch the thing. Watch the thing. Watch the thing. Wait, I'm not. My camera's not playing it, is it?
Is fictitious. Your inertial
Look.
tendency to move in a straight
Watch.
line
There, he
takes
released
you
it.
further from the path you're
Now it's
on
even though it's going straight up. It seems like it's going behind us.
where things
Look.
have to have higher
It's going
velocities
behind
to
us.
rotate at the same rate. If you fly out long enough, you'll notice yourself falling behind your original rotation.
Even though it maintains the same velocity, ours is changing because we're rotating. So if that thing were to come straight down, it would have the appearance of falling straight behind us, right? Or it would have the appearance of falling behind us.
Not with it always directly out. Finally, lose weight fast, but not mass, with this one.
This example works when you don't have gravity? No! Gravity has no impact on this particular question. That was the inverse? No! Because it goes up and not down. Oh no. Okay. Now that you okay. It has to do with things in the air changing. No, stop. Okay.
I wish I could kill chat in a video game.
At the end of the discussion, I started to think that maybe Steve has already built this thing, and I'm just getting played. Anyway, this is how that discussion ended.
We made an agreement. And what did you say about being in Alabama?
If you make a handshake in Alabama, it's a contract. All right.
We already did this. So.
I'm on a train in London, about to go see Steve Mold at high-speed camera.
I recognize surrendering when he said it's like the dinosaurs saying winnable when the meteors
Excited to see where
started
they
arriving.
in real life.
Okay, so this is the studio, right? It looks so much bigger on YouTube.
Yeah, where's the red pipe?
Everyone always says it looks smaller, but
Once we were in Steve's back garden, we set up the slow-motion camera and finalized the terms of our disagreement.
To state the question simply, if you spin it and then you take a snapshot, what does the snapshot look like?
okay. So which direction?
So your description was this. You said that the water would come out and then it would kind of go like this and it would be back here like that. Okay, so we take a snapshot and it looks like that.
Well, I think that happens, but I think it also goes in the direction of rotation.
Okay, this is just a way to think about it in two steps, okay? Because if the question is too complicated, just simplify it and then you might get the... Okay.
Oh, wait. This is really complicated, but there's no gravity. Things are being pulled back in, so I don't know if you can take an understanding from this.
What the jets are just coming out like this, okay? And so we're going to spin it this way. And then now maybe you have an intuitive...
Didn't we already watch this before? Yeah, we did watch this before.
Take a snapshot. Destin, what do you think?
So we have angular momentum.
Yeah.
Angular momentum there, right?
Yeah.
And so I would think that as a particle comes out here, it has some sidewards velocity. That's a term, right? Sidewards.
Sideways, yeah.
Please just bring me on so I don't have to kill myself. Where are you? You're not even in a fucking channel. Oh, you are. Dude, clicking and dragging people in channels in Discord is cancerous. How do I do it when he's all the way down here? I click his name. How do I pull him up into my channel? I can't scroll up enough because there's too many users in the channel. Is there a shortcut to this that I just don't know? It's so stupid. Can I right-click and send to a channel? Move to. Oh, okay. Jesus. All right. What do you want to say? Go.
Okay, hey. Okay, I'm really triggered right now. Okay, you're kind of right. You're on the right track. But there's something
If you
that's
jump,
wrong.
you will go.
When the thing falls, that video is showing you that it's falling ahead. It's falling towards the direction of rotation, ahead of where it dropped. That's because the radius of rotation about the axis has lowered. So the tangential velocity has to increase to conserve angular momentum. That's the answer that you're looking for, and that's what that video was showing you, but you missed.
Okay, we're gonna watch the video again.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it? A Vsauce video?
Yeah, it's a Vsauce. Yeah. I have another one that's really good too. I'll DM it.
Oh god, I don't remember which one it was. Somebody link the video again. Oh, spinning. Oh, it was this. Okay.
I mean, I hope I'm not just being brain dead, but
actually fall
this
a
looks,
bit to the
that's
east
what it looked like
if
to me,
drop,
and from my physics education,
and anything you
that
throw
seems correct.
straight up at it will curve away to the west a bit. The higher up object, whose circular path around is bigger, covers more distance in the same time than you. These velocities don't just disappear when things are dropped or thrown up, so you both
so
miss
see how the
your
Earth
mark.
is rotating. When it drops, it
Oh
speeds
fuck,
up.
I might
and
have looked at it
falls
backwards.
forward
Yeah,
a
hold on,
bit
let me check. Hold on, let me watch again. Okay.
You.
This is a big
These
brain.
velocity path around is bigger. Covers more distance in the same time than you. These velocities don't just disappear when things are dropped or thrown up, so you both miss.
Top piano is the reference when the piano's falling. Wait, so is the piano not behind where it was on top when it falls?
So, if it had stayed at the place,
Yes.
like at the top with that same radius, it would be behind where it is when it hits the ground.
Yeah.
But it didn't. The radius drops, so the velocity, the tangential velocity, has to increase to maintain angular momentum. So it actually falls further on the surface of the Earth because it has more angular momentum at that higher distance from the surface.
All right, hold on. Let me watch one more time.
Circular
Okay.
path around
Yeah,
is
sure.
bigger, covers more distance in the same time than you. These velocities don't just disappear when things are dropped or thrown up, so you both miss your mark.
Oh, so this is saying that if you were to drop it, it would go in the direction of rotation.
Yeah. So angular momentum is r cross v. So if
R cross
goes
V.
down,
Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Sorry,
Okay, no,
R
wait, no, I'm
times
sorry.
V.
I'm trying. Hold on, I've got like This is rotating in my mind a lot. Okay, sorry. Keep going. Talk. Go.
okay, so angular momentum is r cross v, r times v, just for the sake of. So if r, which is the distance from the axis of rotation, drops, then v, which is the tangential velocity, has to rise. Unless you have drag, which is a non-conservative force, so you can lose some energy when there's drag, but we're saying there's no drag in this example.
Okay, wait. Let me
So-
make this human words. So the tangential velocity is necessarily higher the farther out you go, correct? As you expect.
Yes.
Yes, it has to be. So if we drop the radius and the tangential velocity necessarily rises, right? It has to, unless something else happens to change.
Right. Because angular momentum has to be constant. So if one quantity drops, the other has to rise. If you rise the radius, if you make the radius bigger, the velocity has to drop, which is what he's saying. He's saying the inverse is if you throw something up from the Earth, it goes behind where it was because the velocity, the tangential velocity has to drop because the
Oh,
radius
fuck. Yeah, never mind. It all clicks now. Okay. Yeah, when you throw something from the bottom, the velocity, the tangential velocity at the bottom is going to be much greater. No. Much. Well, it's kind of the same, but it needs to be higher at the top in order to land with you, right?
Right. So you are trying to say with that statement, you're trying to talk about the absolute state of either thing, but all that matters is the comparison between.
Yeah, it's the
where
relative.
One has a lower radius and the other one has a higher radius. It is the case that with a higher radius, so like if you have two things rotating and one's further from the center of the Earth, that one is rotating faster, but that doesn't really tell us about the difference between two radii.
Sure. So if you throw something so if we speak about this from the perspective of the person, okay, so first we'll do the person on the ground. If you were to throw something straight up into the air,
yeah,
it would land behind you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason why it would land behind you is because as you throw it straight up into the air, it needs a higher tangential velocity as the radius grows in order to keep up with you, but it doesn't have that because you started at a lower point in the radius, so it'll go up, which causes it to basically lose some ground against you on the ground, and then it'll fall below you, but it does, yeah, right? Correct?
You would have to, if you wanted it to stay above you relative to the surface of the Earth,
You would have to throw it
and you wanted
forward.
to throw it up, yeah, you would have to throw it forward. You would have, it's like in Kerbal. When you
Yeah, of
when
course,
you go
yeah.
into orbit, you have to go like at an angle because you have to throw yourself into orbit.
Okay.
Otherwise,
So
you
then,
end up behind yourself or behind the launch pad in orbit.
So then if
Does
you're
that make sense?
standing on top, yeah, I understand that. So if you're standing on top of a building that's 5 miles, that's 5,000, whatever, a sufficiently high enough radius to see a pronounced effect like this, okay?
Yeah.
If you're standing on top of a building and you drop a ball
Yes.
from on top of that building, then the ball should fall in front of the building.
Yeah, it should fall in front in the direction of rotation of
Okay.
the original.
Okay, I understand completely
So-
now. And the reason
okay.
why this seems counterintuitive, because, well, if I throw it on the ground, it goes behind me, but if I drop it from above, now it's going in front of me. The reason why is because when you drop it from above, the radius is so far extended that your tangential velocity all the way up there is actually very high. You're not starting from the low point closer or at a shorter radius, which means that as it goes down in the radius, the tangential velocity will increase, which will cause the ball to fall ahead. Correct?
Yeah, and to get one so that is how the law works. If you analyze it with the law of conservation of angular momentum, that the actual cause is that gravity itself is speeding the ball up when you drop it towards the Earth. So gravity itself is contributing some velocity
Uh-huh.
to the ball when it's dropped, and then it's stealing some velocity away when you're throwing it up. In your DMs, I linked you a Vsauce video about laws and causes that's really interesting, that explains literally this whole thing.
Sure. Okay. Gotcha.
If you care, but
okay. So, okay. Well, no, I don't care, but I just want to understand this. I think I understand these now, though. Okay. Wait. So am I correct?
Okay. No, you were kind of wrong.
Well, no,
But
no.
you're right
I mean, I'm
in
correct in my
some ways, but you
understanding
were
now.
wrong. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
So the difference between the building is that, we all agree. Hold on. We all agree. I'm not apologizing, chat. The ball is never falling right at the building. That's never happening. That can't.
Well, yeah.
Well, unless it's like really
threw
short
it
or whatever,
back.
or throw it down. Yeah, okay. Correct. So the ball never falls to the building. So if you're on the ground and you throw something 5 miles into the air, or sufficiently high enough to produce this effect, as the thing comes back down to you in a vacuum, right? As the thing comes back down to you, it's going to have the appearance of being behind you, like away from the rotational direction, right?
I think if you throw it up and it falls, it might fall in the same place you threw it up, because the angular momentum is still so like you throw it up and it goes back, but then when it falls, it comes forward the same amount. Unless you're adding something somewhere along the line, I think it might be in the same place. I don't know. I haven't thought about that exactly.
Wait. Well, let's think about it right now. So we have some tangential velocity. Okay, when you throw it up into the air, isn't it going to spend some time in the air in a higher place, like a higher radius place, where it's going to be moving behind you in order to catch back up to you? Wouldn't it have to go to a lower radius place to catch back up? Does that make sense?
If it falls back down to the earth, it should probably catch back.
No, but I would think it wouldn't, right?
Well, if there was drag, it wouldn't. Okay, so
wait.
So you throw something up in the air, right?
So
it should go back a certain amount, and the amount that it goes back is only dependent on the difference in the radius of rotation of where it started and where it ended in the.
Sure.
Right. So that difference is the same difference as if it fell from that point to the top, or from the top to the bottom. That's the same difference in the radius. So you should have the same change in tangential velocity. So I would imagine that if you threw something up and then it fell down to the earth and everything was the same except with a negative sign on either end, right? That it would just end up in the same place. That like you could actually throw something up and have it fall from gravity and land in the same place.
Okay, hold on. Now, I'm almost positive I'm right. So I'm okay, but let's talk about this, because I might be wrong, because I might have this really fucked. So the analogy that I'm thinking is, let's say we have a really wide race car track, and we've got two cars traveling 50 miles per hour. I'm sorry. Yeah, we've got two cars traveling 50 miles per hour right next to each other, right? Now, as they go around the track, let's say that the guy on the right, okay, we'll say the outside of the track, let's say that he veers off towards the edge of the track, traveling 50 miles per hour. He'll have the illusion of falling behind the guy towards the center, right?
Right.
Now, if he maintains...
momentum, but he has to be behind him.
Now, as he maintains his 50 miles per hour and comes back towards the center, he won't ever catch up to the guy, but he'll be appearing to move along the same speed as him, but it won't make him catch up to him, right?
No, I think he could pass the guy if he was to be, if he just maintained the same tangential velocity and dropped his radius. No, I don't know.
Okay, here's my question claim. You explain this. You actually explain this so well that I'm using your own thing against you now. Okay, because I think I really understand this now, but I might not. So okay, your first explanation was really, really, really good. So here's what we're basically saying. Okay, we're on top of a rotating body, and to maintain our position on this body, so that if we look down, we're on this spot, we need to go varying speeds depending on the length of our radius, right?
Yeah, varying tangential speeds, yes.
Yes, okay. So our velocity up here might be, we'll say 100, and our velocity down here might be, say, 10, okay?
Sure.
Okay. So as we throw something into the air, it's still only moving 10, which isn't enough to maintain its position over the planet up here, right?
Well, no.
What?
So you throwing it into the air? Well, I don't know. It's kind of complicated. Like, okay, in the reverse case, for example, when something falls, the force that is pulling it to a lower radius is accelerating it in the direction of travel. So reason why it gains velocity is that you actually need a force, some kind of centripetal force, to pull it to a lower radius. So
Sure, which is gravity in this case, right?
right, exactly. On Earth, it's gravity, right? So Vsauce explains this, that if you're rotating and you're holding an object and then you push it out, that push that you give it, that brings it to a greater radius, gives it it actually fights the rotational velocity. So I'm not explaining this well, but
Well, here, so like all I'm saying is that if it spends more time at this higher state here, where it requires more tangential velocity to maintain its position over here, the more time it spends up here, the farther behind it's going to fall. But that's true of any point that it spends above this spot on the radius. In order for it to actually catch up to get back to here, it would have to actually travel inwards to make up any time that it's lost, is all I'm saying. So like if we have a ball and it goes up and it's traveling up here, its tangential velocity is so low that it's going to have the appearance of falling behind, even if we throw it straight up into the air. And in order for it to catch back up to where it was before, it would have to actually go lower on the radius unless you were applying some other horizontal force to it, is what
I don't know that it would have to go lower on the radius. I don't know by what mechanism it's losing angular momentum, if we're saying that it's conserved in this case.
Well, so it's not losing. Well, we're not saying it's losing angular momentum. We're saying that if angular momentum is conserved, that the higher it goes, the body beneath it will necessarily be moving along, appearing to move along faster. It has to. For it to get back to that spot, it would have to speed up it would have to accelerate while it's in the air horizontally, right?
So for it to speed up to catch back up to where it was, it would have to accelerate in the tangential direction.
Yeah, but just moving back down isn't going to accelerate it. It's just going to bring it back to what it should be, right?
Right, but to move it back down to Earth, you have to apply a force and you have to accelerate it. So unless you,
but that acceleration is always just going to be pointed down. It's never going to be pointed horizontally, right?
No, I mean, if that's the case, yes. But gravity. So for when something falls with gravity, gravity speeds it up tangentially. So what I'm getting at is, for the same reason you can't shoot the Earth, you have to deorbit something.
Wait. Can we analyze that statement? Hold on, because I don't know if I understand that statement, or I don't agree with it. So I'm either wrong or misunderstanding something. Or okay.
I mean, I might be fucking confused.
Sure.
At this
So
point.
you said that. My understanding is that gravity should never. Can gravity add? No. Gravity can add to tangential velocity, right?
Yeah, it can, and it does when it pulls things from a higher radius to a lower.
It's necessarily
angular
adding,
momentum is
right?
Conserved, it has to add to the tangential velocity, unless there's drag forces that slow the thing down. That resist that, velocity dependent drag forces.
Okay. So when you say, okay, hold on. If something is 100 miles above the Earth and it's going at a certain speed, and then gravity is pulling it down,
yes,
it's adding to the tangential velocity because it has to. It has to for the conservation to work. It has to.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I wish I could draw it for you. It's not hard to draw, but Vsauce draws it in that video. Maybe I can find a timestamp and send it to you. That the drawing shows how so as its radius is reduced, the direction of the velocity, the tangential direction of the velocity of the object, is actually a little bit towards Earth. It's no longer just tangential to the surface of the Earth. And so, because it's towards Earth a little bit, there's some amount of contribution that gravity makes to that velocity, because gravity is also pulling towards Earth.
Sure.
So, it's really hard to explain without a drawing, but that's what happens when something falls, and it's spinning. If you have an object that's spinning and then is pulled to a smaller radius, that's what has to happen necessarily.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I think I understand that. Okay. But now the question is that if we start at, I'm going to say R, okay, for our starting position, and then I'll say 2R is like our very far or diameter. I don't know. Just whatever,
Sure.
right?
It's at twice the radius of the other
Okay.
thing. Sure.
I'll say R versus D then, okay? So we can use variables and sound really smart. So if I start at R, okay, at a given speed, if I move up to D, I'm going to lose, like, the area beneath me will shift, right? If I'm fired straight into the air,
yes,
in a straight line up,
mm-hmm.
then the area behind me will move because I'm not maintaining a high enough tangential velocity to maintain my position over what's rotating beneath me. Correct?
Yeah, your radius is increased, your tangential velocity is going to drop. So, or you could look at it a slightly different way and say whatever force that you apply to push the thing up to a higher radius is contributing negatively to the velocity of the object. So, again, when the object is moving like between radii, its velocity is at an angle now. It's not 90 degrees to the surface of the Earth. It's actually pointed towards Earth or away from Earth a little bit.
Yeah.
And so the force you use to change the radius contributes to the velocity now. It's no longer pulling or pushing in 90 degrees to the velocity. It's actually pushing a little bit with the velocity.
Okay, yeah. So then the question is that as we're up in the air and we start to lose our position over the planet, as we come back down, do we get back to our starting spot or not? And it still feels like the answer to me is no, but it could be yes.
I mean, I think it's yes, because I don't know what else is contributing to the motion. So if you go from R to 2R, and then you go from 2R to R.
Why would you change position unless some other force was acting on you, is what you're saying, right?
Right, unless like the force with which you moved from one to the other was different from the other to the other one.
Word.
Do you know what I'm saying? Or something? If I don't know, if there's some other thing where you go R to 2R and that force is higher than 2R to R, it might be a little different. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to think about that more. But if for example, you pushed something up to 2R with the same force as the force of gravity, and then you let gravity pull it down, then I think it would be in the same place.
Wait a second. Okay, so maybe this is where things are getting weird, is that we're adding something here because we're using non-gravity force to do the initial push. Would that change things?
And I don't know if that matters, because it might just be the case that the force...
Oh, yeah, wait, does that matter?
That, like, the energy contribution to move from R to 2R and 2R to R is just the same, but one might be slower with a lower force, and one might be higher with a greater force. Like I don't actually know. I mean, I think it would be the same because the energy would be conserved as well. So... Well, I don't know.
You've linked this a million times, my dude. I love you, but I don't remember enough physics for this to help me at all. I don't know what the fuck you want me to take from this, okay? I see you put destiny is right. Thank you. But I don't know what the fuck this is. I can't read this, okay?
Wait, I want to read that. What is that?
Oh, okay. Maybe you can read it. Here you go.
Oh, I can't read that shit. This person has to get better handwriting.
Yeah, holy shit.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm not even going to try. That's
Okay, so my question is that if we move from R to 2R,
sure. It seems to me if you go from R to 2R and then you go from 2R to R, all else being equal,
it should be the same. Yeah. So what you're saying is that, like, if we move from R to 2R, yeah, of course you're losing ground. But when you move from 2R to R, you should be making that ground up because you're going to be accelerating.
Exactly what I'm saying.
How does this not work with my... Do you understand? Okay, do you understand my race car analogy?
Not really.
Okay, I'm gonna draw this on stream real quick, and then you can tell me what's off because I must be missing something with this analogy that's not working. Because in this analogy, I think I'm correct, but I must be missing something. So, if we have a racetrack, okay, and we have two cars, and these cars are traveling at 50 miles per hour. Let's assume right here the cars are like right next to each other, even though they're not. We'll assume they're right next to each other, and the cars are traveling at 50 miles per hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we call this length here as R. Let's say that I'm sorry.
Although if they were traveling at 50 miles per hour,
mm-hmm.
they were both traveling at 50 miles per hour, and they had slightly different radii.
No. I'm sorry.
Then-
Let's assume that it's the exact same. I just can't draw them on top of each other. But we'll
Okay.
assume that, or they're so close, it's whatever, right?
Sure.
If this car on the outside, okay, if this car on the outside were to travel far along here, right, going 50 miles per hour, right, it would start to fall behind the other car. Do we agree?
So not if it maintained tangential velocity of 50 miles per hour. But in order to do that, that driver would have to put his foot down on the gas more. Does that make... He would have to, like, accelerate himself tangentially as he goes to the outside of the turn in order to maintain the same tangential velocity. Because he has a greater angular momentum
Yes.
when he's going 50
But we're
miles
saying,
per
but we're
hour
saying, yeah,
at
but
one than the...
But we're saying he's not doing this. He's just, both cars are just traveling 50 miles per hour, right?
It would be... The better analogy would be like... both cars are putting their foot on the gas at the same amount.
Yeah, sure.
And
yeah.
they happen to be at 50 miles per hour when they're
On
on
the
top
cars.
of each other.
Yeah.
But the one guy turns out a little bit to go to
Mhm.
the outside of the turn,
Mhm.
and so he is going to, like, he's not going to be contributing. He's not going to be pushing himself as much towards the velocity as the other guy is. So he's going to lose a little bit. He's going to be like, he's going to be behind if they're both, like, pushing the same amount, but one turns.
So then he would start to lose against that driver on the inside, right?
Right.
But then if he comes back down or gets pushed back down, would he really gain to him, or wouldn't he just be now moving at the same speed tangentially inside? Like, wouldn't he need an increase in speed tangentially to catch up to where he was before? Oh, I guess he is getting an increase based on where he was on the outside. Does that make sense? This is really weird.
When he points his nose towards the center of the turn, he will speed up a little bit. Like, when he starts to reduce his radius, he'll speed up tangentially. His angular momentum might be the same, but he's going to speed up tangentially, and he should catch up. And if we're ignoring, like, friction
we're ignoring
forces on the
frictives.
wheels and drag.
But wouldn't he
and all
have
that,
to,
yeah.
like, fuck, if we were to graph this out, wouldn't he have to actually cover more physical space to do that, which should be impossible?
Cover more physical space. I don't know what you mean.
So, oh god. Okay, let's see if we can. Can we use integrals for this? Let's see if we can graph it and try to figure this out. Hold on. I don't think there's a way to put this on a graph easily, is there? If we measure it, like, for an x and a y axis, how would we do this? Is this possible or is this not possible?
Yeah, somebody said that he is covering, like, a greater amount of distance. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
That might be part of the concern. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work in. I mean, this analogy it seems good to demonstrate something else, and maybe I'm not and there might be a gap in my knowledge too. My classical mechanics class was a pile of hot garbage because my professor was...
Imagine still learning anything about such outdated shit. That's okay. We only do quantum chromodynamics. I think that's what a thing does. Okay, hold on. Okay, so... Oh, God. Okay, hold on. I don't think I can graph this, can I? So I want to see... I want to graph distance covered. Can I don't think I can do this on a two-dimensional graph, can I? What? Oh, God. This feels so wrong to me. Why can't I put it into words? Oh, God. I have to think about this more.
Actually, yeah. So when he comes back, he would have to like exert some kind of force on himself to speed up if he wants to get back to the same place.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But
right. I think you're right. But with the Earth, you have gravity doing that. Like, gravity is constantly applying a force that's pulling you towards the center. So if the same analogy would be like, I don't know, like there's some for, like, this guy puts his foot on the gas a little more, or I don't know. This analogy confuses me a little bit. But there, like, so with the Earth, gravity literally speeds you up when you go to a smaller radius. That is what's happening. Like, if gravity wasn't there, I don't know that would happen. I mean, I guess there would still have to be centripetal force pulling you to the center of the turn. So,
okay.
I don't know.
This is going to be the next Portal problem, except there are definitive answers to this, so.
Yeah. And I'm too dumb to analyze a different situation. So here we are.
Holy shit.
10 centimeter by about 30 centimeters.
Okay. Alright.
You really should just watch that Vsauce video on your own time or on stream. It's really interesting.
Yeah, we're going to be watching videos about this, okay? What am I trying to say with this graph? If I'm moving at a certain speed, I'm trying to figure out how do we measure around a circle? Is it radians? If I want to say I've gone halfway around a circle, do I say 180?
Or degrees.
Or degrees?
So degrees would be, there's 360 in a circle, but radians is 2 pi.
Oh, radians is 2 pi. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It's just different.
Oh my god. If I want to, if I'm going at, oh god. So if this is I'm just going to say speed. No, I can't. I don't think I can do this on 2 things. Fuck. Okay, I'm right. I'm just going to watch videos all day. Maybe I'll bug you more. I love you, buddy. Okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Bring up my chat history where I was, and I'm really triggered. I'm sorry. But that Vsauce video is in there if you care.
Okay,
all right.
I love you, buddy. Be careful. Bye.
Anyway, bye.
They're about that size, right? They're tiny. They're built around a camera with a 100mm lens, and they're Earth observation satellites. Now, several of them get launched at the same time on the same spacecraft, so they will all end up at roughly the same point in the same orbit. A little clump of them floating in space, but to make them useful, they want to spread these things out along the orbit so that they can more evenly cover the Earth. The spacecraft are small,
to 2 minutes?
They don't have rocket engines, but they do have something called magnetorquers that they can use to control their attitude relative to the Earth. They also have solar panels that are used to provide power and can be used to apply drag. So it seems easy enough. If 2 spacecraft want to separate, then one of them goes into a low drag configuration, turning its...
Wait, what the fuck is this video?
As soon as you throw the ball, it actually is no longer being controlled by...
Oh wait, hold on. Okay, let's from the beginning.
Hello, it's Scott Manley here. Now, a couple of months ago, I crunched the numbers on whether a sufficiently athletic astronaut could throw a ball back to Earth from the space station. And while I compared the speed of the projectiles to the retrograde velocity required for deorbiting a spacecraft, many people couldn't see a problem. The natural way people think about it is that in 0G, in the absence of drag and with the force of Earth's gravity, any object propelled straight down towards Earth would have nothing to stop it and would quickly reach the Earth's atmosphere and deorbit. And it's a fine example of how orbital mechanics can defy our normal expectations of motion. So let's do a demo in Kerbal Space Program. If I did actually project an object straight down from this space station, then indeed it would initially appear to move down towards the planet below. But as time went on, it would start to move laterally. It would actually start to move ahead of the space station in its orbit. And about 1/4 of a way around the orbit, the object would stop getting lower towards the planet, and it would actually start rising again. And about a half orbit later, it would actually be once again at the same altitude as the space station, although it would be ahead of us. Fast forward.
Is this firing, like jettisoning it down into the planet? Is that what he's doing here?
This more, it actually rises up above the space station, and a full orbit later,
okay,
if you've thrown it just right, it could actually come back and hit you. I think one of the things that really confuses people is that there's actually 2 coordinate frames. The space station keeps a constant...
So that makes sense based on the sprinkler video, that if you shoot it down, it's going to travel, it'll appear to be lower, and then it'll come out ahead of you, right? That's like from the sprinkler thing we watched?
Orientation relative to the Earth. It always has the same down, and the space station has to keep this orientation by rotating slowly as it moves around the Earth.
We didn't even watch it?
As soon as you throw the ball, it actually is no longer being controlled by this rotation. So its initial velocity vector carrying it away from the space station doesn't rotate with the space station. So that means about 23 minutes later, as the space station has moved 1/4 of a way around its orbit, guess what? It's now going sideways. It's actually going along the space station's orbit and actually going slightly faster. So it then starts to rise up. And of course, 45 minutes later, halfway around the orbit, the velocity vector is pointing straight out and bringing it across the space station in the opposite direction. And if we follow that for even longer, it will again slow down and start coming back down. What happened is that the orbit has become slightly elliptic, and instead of the object orbiting at the same altitude, it now oscillates between a low point and a high point, or as astronomers and Kerbal Space Program players say, perigee and apogee. Now, it's entirely possible to drop the perigee far enough that it end up inside the atmosphere, but it has to do that inside this first quarter orbit before it starts going up. And it turns out that if you do the math, you need about 4 times as much velocity to do this, compared to just throwing it out backwards. When you're in orbit, you're already moving around the Earth at about 7.5 kilometers per second. So if you throw an object away, you're changing the total velocity. It's not simple arithmetic addition, it's a vector addition. So when you throw a ball downwards, that's at 90 degrees to that 7.5 kilometer per second velocity. So if you throw it down at like 100 meters per second, you do the math, it turns out that you only change the total magnitude of the velocity by about 2/3 of a meter per second. And because the velocity is practically unchanged and the altitude is practically unchanged, the energy of the orbit really doesn't change by very much. So it's a very inefficient way of changing your orbital energy. If you want to go up or down, you want to maximize the change to your velocity magnitude. So you want to project the object either forwards to increase the energy or backwards to decrease the energy. And this explains why most maneuvers performed in Kerbal Space Program are either prograde or retrograde burns to adjust the size of the orbit. Now that's for dropping an object back from low Earth orbit, where the radius of the orbit is very close to the radius of the planet. But what about dropping something, say, from the Earth into the sun? Say some of that radioactive waste that people talk about throwing into the sun. Well, the sun may be huge, but its radius is actually really small relative to the radius of Earth's orbit. So dropping an object into the sun requires a much bigger kick. And we know now that applying that kick retrograde is the most efficient way to drop your perihelion down. Except, when you want to get more than about 40% of the way to the sun, at that point, the most efficient way to fire your engines literally turns around, and it's better to accelerate forwards, increasing your orbital velocity, lifting your spacecraft higher and higher. And as you coast outwards, your velocity drops. And as your velocity drops, it gets very, very small, and from there, it only takes a very small kick to drop your perihelion down into the sun. Now, the crossover point actually corresponds to the escape velocity. This is a critical point where a spacecraft has enough energy to escape the gravity of the central body it's orbiting. Of course, this has the downside of taking significantly more time to reach your goal, because you have to go a long way out before your velocity drops sufficiently. And no real spacecraft would ever use this trick, because it's possible to plan gravity assist from other planets. For example, the Parker Solar Probe is going to launch this year, and it's going to get closer to the sun than anything else, but it is going to do this using gravity assists from Venus. For another example of orbits being back to front, let's talk about constellations of CubeSats.
Okay, we're gonna watch the sprinkler video, and then we're done with all this. Okay. Okay. I feel like every time I talk about orbital shit, I come away with more understanding, and then I forget it all. Here we go. All right, we're finally watching this. I feel like when I watched this video a long time ago, I feel like I had a good understanding, but maybe the gravity stuff makes it worse. Good luck.
Steve Mold. You've seen him. You've seen his face when he did the chain. What's the deal?
Well, it's called the Mold effect.
Okay, fuck you.
It also goes in the direction of rotation. Okay. This is just a way to think about it in 2 steps, okay? Because if the question is too complicated, just simplify it and then you might get the... Okay. So this is... The jets are just coming out like this, okay?
Okay.
So we're going to spin it this way. And then now maybe you have an intuitive understanding of what's going to happen when you take a snapshot. Destiny, what do you think?
So we have angular momentum there, right?
Yeah.
And so I would think that as a particle comes out here, it has some sidewards velocity. That's a term, right? Sidewards?
Sidewards, yeah.
Yeah. So
let's say tangential.
Well, I'm just going to say sidewards. I'm from Alabama. So it's got some sidewards direction here. And so I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a curve get thrown out like that.
Okay. So you think if it's spinning in this direction, the curve is going to go like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
That's like the opposite of most people's intuition.
Why?
Because, okay, well, most people would say, like, it's going to come out here, and it's going to trail behind.
Yes.
Oh, that's what we think is going to happen, right, guys?
I think it's a...
Well, should we see what happens?
It'll trail behind.
What do you... Like, this is the simple...
We know that it'll trail behind because as r increases, the radius increases. In order to conserve momentum, the tangential velocity necessarily decreases, so it should trail behind, right?
Puzzle, so let's just try this one.
Yeah, okay, let me set the Phantom up.
That's the
Am I
intuitive
wrong?
guess? I think that's correct, but maybe we misunderstood everything.
Even about this, the simple version.
Okay, so here we go.
We watched this video a long time ago. I don't remember the answers, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens for the first one.
And you think what's going to happen?
So I think that you're going to get this curve of water that trails the motion of the spouts.
But yeah, I think it's going to trail the motion of the spout, but it still has motion going in the direction of rotation.
It does, but it does.
You're trying to make it look stupid, is what you're doing.
I'm just going to get absolutely soaked.
I'm going to keep my feet up. Okay, I'm ready.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Okay, so let's take a look at that slow motion and see why Steve and I both agree and disagree.
So yeah, it's good. It's trailing. That's what I mean by trailing. Right? It goes. It's behind the direction of motion. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Granted. Yeah. But any individual particle is actually going out that way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I'm not wrong. So this is a language problem. If you look at it from the snapshot view, you could say it's trailing. But I'm an American, and I think about what that particle is seeing and experiencing on its own. And Steve's wrong. In a British sort of always right kind of way. As water exits the spout, let's track any one droplet and try to draw what it does. There are 2 things happening here. Number 1, it's being shot out of the spout. That gives it an initial velocity in this direction. Number 2, it's being slung around the wheel by rotation, which means when it exits the spout, it also has this velocity going in this direction. Now that we have those 2 components laid out, if you add the arrows together, that gives you the final direction of the water when it leaves the pipe. And if you'll notice, it's not actually trailing the pipe, it's moving in a straight line forward. If you were to draw a circle in your mind around any drop that's on the screen right now and follow it, you'll see that it's moving in a straight line forward from the direction that it left the pipe. It looks like it's trailing, but it's not. That's an optical illusion.
So we're now going to have the water jet.
So when we say it's trailing, we're talking about the point of view or the frame of reference of the actual rotating body. If we were standing on the body, we would say it's trailing. But from the perspective of, I guess, the thing shooting out, it's shooting out ahead. But from the person standing on the ground of the thing, it would be trailing, right?
Yes, firing into the center.
You made this just to get onto me?
Yes. Yeah. This was just to get onto your YouTube channel.
Well, it worked. So my guess is if we follow the same logic that we had before, and we have the rotational velocity omega times the radius r, then that's going to make this go in this direction. But the water jet is going to be coming up and at you like this. So I would expect a snapshot.
Okay, so now this is the example I use where if you're standing on the building, you throw the ball down, or I guess you don't have to throw it. I guess you could just drop it. So what happens here is that you inherit a tangential velocity from farther out on the radius. So as you go down to the ground, you're going to have the appearance of moving ahead, which is going to be very unintuitive and very weird because the tangential velocity must be conserved. Meaning that as you move further down the radius, or the momentum must be conserved. So as you move further down the radius, the tangential velocity will increase, which will cause you to fly ahead, I think, right? I think is the explanation.
Oh, God, I see the problem now.
But it's going to look really weird. It'll look like it's curving ahead.
But as you start to accelerate, I think the snapshot's going to look like it's lagging behind. And then as we get faster and faster, it's going to look like it's going forward.
Okay, that's interesting.
So the pushing out here, we can compare it to gravity almost, as though we're dropping it from a building, okay? I understood this at one point in time. I just had it backwards somehow. Oh, no, wait. But we're still under disagreement on whether or not when we drop it, would it fall? No, we're not. Even the physics guy, Pullover, you agree that we're not throwing it up and down. But if we're standing on top of a building and we drop it, it would fall ahead of the building. Let this be clear. No matter who comes away from Screen Night thinking I was right or wrong, the people that were wrong were always the people that said that the ball would fall right next to the building. You were always wrong. No matter how wrong I am, you were wronger. Okay? Fuck out of here. Okay. But what would happen then is if you drop from the building, it will fall in front of you in the direction of rotation because your tangential velocity was higher above. Okay, so the one guy that I screamed at that drew the really weird picture with the V2 and the V1, I think his thing was actually correct. It will have the appearance of falling ahead of you because the tangential velocity is higher up there. As the radius is decreased, to conserve momentum, the tangential velocity will increase, causing it to have the perception of the object moving ahead of you, falling ahead of you in the direction of rotation. That's what we should see here. Okay.
So there's a certain speed you think speed of rotation, where it's going to come back to the middle.
We're talking about the snapshot right now.
Yeah.
I think that's possible.
Okay. Yeah. But what I like is, I think what most people's intuition is, you would expect it to lag behind, right?
Well, I think it's going to start lagging behind for snapshot, and then it'll speed back up.
Okay, well, let's find out. Okay, I'm going to turn the water on. Are you clear?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Is it hitting in the middle? Nice.
Almost. It wants to. We can tune it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty, dude.
Yeah, it's cool, huh?
Ah, that's awesome. It feels weird.
Yeah.
Like it looks...
It doesn't look right, does it?
No. It doesn't look right at all.
Okay, I'm just going to try and go as fast as I can just with my hand.
But if you go really slow, does it lag at all?
No, as soon as you start to move it, it goes forward.
Okay, I was wrong, but Steve was right. Let's run the slow-mo.
Steve is right. I like hearing that. So what's happening here, okay, we got the words for this, guys, right? What's happening here is we have a higher tangential velocity at the farther out of our radius. As we push something down, it inherits that tangential velocity. As it moves further along down the radius, it's going to have the appearance of speeding up because it's going to be moving faster. Basically, this is going to appear to move faster as the radius gets shorter, right? So if this was us on top of a building, so this is our building. We're standing on the building and we drop the ball. As we drop the ball would follow this path as it accelerates towards the Earth, essentially, is what we would plan on it seeing. And then it would fall forward in front of us in the direction of rotation, I think. How is that comparable to gravity? Gravity is just, well, it's weird in that gravity is constantly accelerating. Or gravity is a constant acceleration. This is just one push or whatever, but like it should be more or less the same effect. The curve might look a little different, but more or less it's the same thing. This is so unintuitive. Everything with angular anything is never intuitive.
Okay, what we're seeing here is fascinating. Part of it's obvious, part of it's not so obvious. You remember before when we said you had two velocity components, right? Number one, we have the water that's shooting out of the spout, which gives it a velocity in this direction. And number two, it's being slung around by rotation, which gives it velocity in this direction. Just like before, let's add those arrows up. And again, the water is still moving in a straight line. Just like before, you can track any particle and follow it, and you'll see that it's moving in a straight line away from the nozzle. The fun thing about this device for me is that it's tricking my brain into thinking
Oh,
that
maybe it's angular velocity, not tangential velocity. Sorry.
the water is actively curving out in front, but it's not. Your brain tricks itself into thinking the water is turning. And here we are at the smarter everyday moment for me personally. When I'm presented with a problem, oftentimes I get pretty headstrong, like maybe even arrogant, because
what a
of my
dumbass.
education on the topic, or
big
because
mistake.
I have a life
That's a
experience
rookie
that makes me
mistake.
think I know all the answers. And when that happens in my heart, I am less likely to hear the other person. At times during this experiment, Steve and I were communicating the exact same physical truths from two different perspectives. And because we weren't saying it exactly the same way, I misinterpreted that to mean that one of us had to be wrong. As I look back at this footage, it was obvious to me that Steve clearly understood my perspective, but I can't say I took the time to do the same for him. Because of that, when I was really wrong and he was trying to explain it to me, I was already shut down. I couldn't see it. I just look like an idiot. Here's the takeaway for me.
Big mistake,
When
Dustin.
I disagree with someone, or at least I think I disagree with someone, it is imperative that I
Wait,
stop
are we done talking about the
fully
physics?
smarter to-
Oh, fuck this. Okay. All right. Anyway, all we learned today is that you guys are fucking dumb as fuck. Okay?
Because I'm trying to learn more about it.
It's a waste of time. Why not
You should
learn
talk to
something
Hassan.
that actually
Wait.
matters?
Wait.